The Canon FTb QL was a 35mm SLR camera that stepped into the spotlight in March of 1971, succeeding the Canon FT-QL. This camera was launched concurrently with the Canon F1, Canon's first professional-grade SLR system. While sharing numerous features with the F1, like the solid build and the FD lens mount, the Canon FTb QL missed out on the option for interchangeable prisms, focusing screens, or motor drive attachments. The QL designation was a reference to Canon's ingenious and successful quick-load system, which was inherited from the FT-QL. The upgrade saw the FTb QL being fitted with the new FD lens mount system as a replacement to the older FL mount, which the original FT-QL is fitted with. On its own, however, the Canon FTb QL is a unique version of Canon's camera lineup. It comes fitted with the highly acknowledged SMS or shockless mirror system, which enables the shutter to release without any vibration. The trigger pull is very smooth and has far less recoil when compared to any other SLR. Functionally, the FTb QL boasts an entirely mechanical, horizontally traveling focal plane shutter, with shutter speeds spanning from 1/1000th to 1 second, including bulb mode. Other operational highlights include a 10-second delay self-timer, mirror lockup, a stop-down metering system ideal for depth of field preview, and compatibility with older FL lenses for stop-down metering. The ISO setting spans a versatile range from 25 to 2000. The viewfinder is a simple display of the image centered by a shaded rectangle which makes up 12% of the screen area from which the exposure reading is taken. And a match needle, meter needle, and aperture needle displays within a couple of bracket blocks in the lower right side of the screen. Matching the meter needle to align the aperture needle is all it takes to set the image to its correct exposure. A stainless steel sprung hinge device inside the rear door makes film loading simpler than competing cameras of the era. You just lay the film's leader over the drive gear and take-up fingers and close the back. It also made it repeatable. By always putting the same sprocket hole over the drive gear, you could rewind a partially shot roll, leaving its leader out, and put it back in later. You just click past the already taken frames with the lens cap on, and then continue. On the left side of the pentaprism housing of the top plate is the film rewind crank, which is integrated with the exposure metering on-off battery check selector lever. On the right is the shutter speed dial, which is integrated with the film ISO speed selector, the shutter release housed by the shutter lock lever, the film advance crank, and the auto reset film counter window. To do stop-down metering, push the self-timer lever clockwise towards the lens mount housing. This will close the lens aperture to the value you set on the aperture ring. As for the battery, let's see what the wiki page for the Canon FTb QL has to say. The meter was designed to be powered by a single 1.35 volt 625 type mercury cell, specifically the Mallory PX625 and the ever-ready EPX625. While these batteries are obsolete, modern replacements include the Wine Zinc Air Cell PX625, available at large online retailers. Alternative options for replacement are to use a 1.5 volt silver battery either through a voltage dropping adapter or recalibrating the meter. Using modern zinc air batteries provide the original voltage but have a relatively short life. And finally, the FTb QL body weight is 750 grams without batteries. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's talk about my pros and cons with the camera, starting with my pros. Up first, we have reliability. The Canon FTb QL was known for its durable and robust construction, making it a reliable choice for photographers who needed a camera that could withstand heavy use. Up next is the QL, or quick loading system on the camera, which makes it easy to load and unload film, saving me time and hassle. Personally, I've never tried what I said earlier about loading the film through a specific sprocket hole and then rewinding the film so that you can go back to the place where you ended up. I've never tried it before, but it seems like a pretty ingenious use of technology. It's a really nice touch that you can line up your film in the exact same spot every single time. Up next, we have fully manual operation. The Canon FTb QL is a fully mechanical camera, meaning that the battery is only powering the light meter, and the whole camera itself doesn't need the battery to actually work. And that works out great for me because, well, my battery compartment or my light meter doesn't work. But if you're someone with an FTb QL that does have a working light meter and battery compartment, that means even if your battery dies, you can still use the camera, no problem. Up next in my pros list is the Canon FD mount. The camera is equipped with the Canon FD mount, which is compatible with a wide range of FD lenses. There are plenty of them out there to choose from. Last but not least, we have the SMS, or the shockless mirror system. And this enables the shutter to be released without any vibration, and this is a pretty big plus. There's really no chance of the shutter shaking the camera in any meaningful way. And now let's talk about my cons. There aren't that many, but let's talk about them. I tried replacing my battery, but it was no use. Either the battery just didn't work or the meter is fried in some way. But the fact that the camera's meter isn't powered by a more ubiquitous and ready-to-use battery is annoying if you're someone who wants to rely on the internal meter. Not having a working meter or a camera system that can use a battery that is more commonly found in other cameras is kind of a downside to this camera. And number 2 in my cons list, the camera is on the heavy side. Not that this has ever really been a big issue for me, just something to keep in mind. When compared to the rest of my camera lineup, it is the heaviest by far. But I guess that speaks a little bit more to the pro on the list, which is that it is reliable and sturdy and robust. I really do feel like I could drop this thing over and over and it would be perfectly fine. Not that I'm going to test that, but I do feel that way. Overall, I have loved using this camera. It was actually the first film camera that I've ever owned. It was actually gifted to me by my friend's mom when she was cleaning out their attic. I could probably attribute my love of film photography to this camera specifically. It was really the one that got my feet wet, and if I had been given a shittier camera, I might not have continued down this debt-inducing rabbit hole. It's always nice to have a fully mechanical camera in your arsenal, one that doesn't rely on batteries to function. In fact, my Minolta XG7 just finally shit the bed not that long ago, so it seems like the electronics are going in that, which is a shame because I love that camera, but it's also something that I don't have to worry about with the Canon FTb QL. I can forgive not having a working light meter or a shitty battery in the camera if it means that everything else in the camera works just fine. If you're thinking of buying one of these cameras, I hope this video was helpful in persuading you one way or the other. I'm going to end this video with some photos that I've taken over the years with my FTb QL. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell to be notified when new videos are released, hit the join button, become a member. Also, go to my print shop where you can buy some prints. And I think that does it. I will see you all next time.